everybody, it's Jenny from the Missouri Star Quilt Company, and I've got a fun project for you today. Take a look at this quilt behind me. Isn't this fun? I know you're going to be surprised when I tell you this is a disappearing pinwheel block. Isn't that something? Just another thing to do with our disappearing pinwheel. To make this quilt, what you're going to need is one packet of 10-inch squares, and we have used Kelmscott by Morris Company for Free Spirit. You're also going to need a pack of background squares to put with your 10-inch squares, and we're talking about 42 squares. And for the border, you're going to need 1.5 yards, and it makes this nice 6-inch border out here. So let me show you how to do this. First, you're going to take your printed square and a solid square, and you're going to put those right sides together, and you're going to sew all the way around the outside edge, just like we do for our half square triangles. We're then going to cut them diagonally, corner to corner. Now, I've already sewn this one. You can see that. So we're going to cut this corner to corner diagonally, just like this. And this rotating mat comes in really handy when you're doing these kind of blocks. All right, once you get them cut, you now have 4 half square triangles, and we are going to go and iron these open. Just like this, set them, roll them back. Set and roll, set and roll. Once you get all these ironed and pressed, we're going to put them back together in a pinwheel. So when you make a pinwheel, you do light, dark, light, dark, light, dark, light, dark, all seams to the center. That's my little mantra. That keeps me from getting turned around too badly. I'm so angrily challenged. There we go. Now we're going to sew these together like a 4 patch. You're going to sew this here and this here. And we're going to go to the sewing machine and do that. 1/4 inch right along the side. And let me get situated here. And I'm just going to match up these 2 seams down here where my half square triangles come together. And this one, I'm going to lift it right off the table just like I had it. So it means I'm going to start with my 2, where my 2 seams are together. And sew 1/4 inch right down the side. Now I'm going to put these together, and I'm going to open them up and make sure they're still a pinwheel. And they are, so lay them right on top of each other. Start here at this outer edge, sew 1/4 inch. I'm going to take a few little seams to anchor it. And then at this middle seam, I'm going to put my finger there and hold it together. And I'm going to make one of my seams go this way and one go this way so that there's less bulk in the middle. Now out here, because there's a little bit of bias in these seams, you can actually make these line up out here and just give that a slight tug just to make sure everything lines up really nice. All right, let's go iron these over here. All right, nice, pretty center. And we're going to lay it all nice. Iron that nice and flat. Now your center here is going to have a little bulk to it. If you want to iron that seam open, you can. Mine's laying down nice and flat, so I think we're good with that. Make sure all your seams are going the direction that you want them to. And now we're ready to cut our pinwheel block. The disappearing pinwheel is called that because we take this one big pinwheel and then we cut it and make it into lots of other blocks. And so what we're going to do is we're going to measure the width of our block. Mine measures 12 3/4. We're going to divide that by 3. So that equals 4 1/4. So if I'm coming in from the side, I can come in 4 1/4 and cut. But because I want to cut from the middle seam, I have to divide that measurement in half. So now I'm at 2 1/8, and I'm cutting at 2 1/8 on all 4 sides. So I'm going to put my ruler at 2 1/8 and cut on all 4 sides very carefully. And if you're using one of these mats, you kind of have to get used to the fact that it moves a little bit. All right, here we go. And we're just going to line this up, 2 1/8. This is the scariest part of this. People get really scared trying to cut their fabric, and honestly, if you make a mistake, you get a bag or a pillow or a pot holder, so we're good to go. And when you start doing this, the first time you do this, you want to practice on your ugly piece of fabric. Don't start with your favorite piece, because if you make a mistake, you want that to be on your ugly piece. All right, 2 1/8 on all 4 sides. Here we go. That's our last one. So your block is going to look like this, and now we're going to be able to turn it in all different ways and do all kinds of fun things with it. So I have another block already here, cut up, ready to go, and we're going to put it together. This is the block we're making. Now you'll notice the pinwheel here is a little different, and that's because once we got our block together in the basket shape, we swapped out the pinwheel. And I just thought that gave it more depth and color. Once you get your block together, you'll want to lay that right there so that you can use it as a pattern. So we're going to start ours with this bottom row right here where we have one here. Oh, actually, you know what? Let me move this right here. Let me move this out of the way. Then you can see a little better, because this gets a little bigger than the board. So we've got our half square triangle going in and 2 of our bar blocks. The next row is going to be a bar block that goes the other direction, and then 2 half square triangles, and one's going to go up like this and one's going to go down. On the 3rd row, we've got a bar block. We start with a bar block right here, like that, and then our half square triangle goes down, and then we're going to grab this pinwheel from our other pack, and we're going to put that over here as the flower. You see that? How cute is that? So then we're going to sew those 3 rows together, just like you'd normally sew your 3 rows together. Make sure that these seams go out and these seams go in, and it'll all lay together nice, and then you'll get your block. This is the block we're shooting for right here, and you're going to set those together. There's several ways to set this, and let me show you how we did it. We decided to put these together so that all the pinwheels matched in the center. So let me make some room here. So it made a big giant block, and I want my colors spread out. So here, see how that goes like that? Oh, that one's not even cut yet. Here we go. Look at the 4 of those, how they make that cool block like that, and it just looks like baskets with flowers in the middle. Isn't that fun? So let's take a look at this. We've got 3 of those across and 3 down. And again, it makes a nice big quilt. Let me see what size again. 78 by 78. So a really nice big quilt. We don't have any sashings in between them, none. And no little border. Usually, if watch my quilting, I generally put a little border in here. But with this piece right here, I just didn't feel like we needed one. And so then we just added our big border to the outside once we made our big blocks. So this is so fun. I hope you'll give it a try, and we hope you enjoyed this tutorial on the disappearing pinwheel basket block from the Missouri Star Quilt Company.